Look at this. A new Fox Business poll shows Donald Trump with a commanding lead in South Carolina. Nikki Haley is in second place, and she is 34 points behind Trump in South Carolina. And look who's here in the studio with me, Nikki Haley. And Madam Ambassador, I think that's the correct term of address. Is that right?
It's
Madam
Nikki.
Ambassador?
Those are moments in time.
No, I can't do that. I'm born an Englishman. I can't say that kind of thing. In South Carolina, Trump's beating you by 34 points. You're South Carolina. Are you a bit surprised at his lead?
No, it's early. This is a marathon. It's not a sprint. You know, what we can tell you is we have received 160,000 donations from all 50 states. 95% of them are less than 200. We've raised, between the campaign and supporting organizations, $34 million. And the other guys are spending lots of money. We haven't spent any. The accountant in me is saving it. That's why you're not seeing the numbers move, because people are on vacation. Their kids are out of school. Once Labor Day hits, you're going to see it go, and that's when the time is to hit it hard.
I've got an NBC headline I showed our viewers earlier. 5 months in, Nikki Haley is still waiting for her moment. All right. How do you plan to break out?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm saving my money and waiting for the moment when it matters. I'm not frivolously
will just
spending.
money spending and ads, will that do it, or do you need a breakout issue?
That and the debates. So we have our first debate in August, you know that, with Fox News. And so you've got a debate in August, September, October. And so as we go through that, we have been, I think I've done over 30 events in New Hampshire, over 25 events in Iowa. We just did another event in South Carolina. We're not doing rallies and leaving. We're going and we're making sure we do town halls, answering every question, shaking every hand, touching every person. We've got a country to save, and there's going to be no shortcuts. No one will outwork me in this, and no one's going to outsmart me in this, and you can look at the spending and see that.
I understand you take 1 day off a week, totally off. You go home.
6 days a week, we're doing 15-hour days, and 1 day, no makeup. That's when I recharge. That's when I repack, and then we're back out on the road again.
You really need Trump in the debate, don't you?
I think I want Trump in the debate. And the reason is I think the American people deserve to know what their options are. And really, it's offensive for a candidate to say they're not going to be on stage. You're basically trying to earn the support of the American people. You can't earn the support of the American people if you're absent.
Okay. 2 questions. Number 1, do you have a climate plan?
I think, first of all, we need to look at what has happened so far. You look at these green subsidies, what they're doing to our businesses. They're killing us. We should take an all-of-the-above approach when it comes to energy. No more going hat in hand to Saudi Arabia. No more getting dirty oil from Iran and Venezuela. This is about national security. It's also about bringing inflation down.
Is it drill, baby, drill?
I think that I was just on an oil rig in Texas. It's the most patriotic thing I've ever seen.
But does that meet the demands of climate change? I mean, if extreme weather, if you believe that, extreme weather because of CO2 emissions, would pumping more oil be a climate plan?
You know what would be a climate plan? Is to go after India and China, who are our biggest polluters. America does things right.
Go after them?
Absolutely.
What do you do to China to go after them, to stop them polluting? What do you do?
Well, the Paris Climate Agreement was not it. I can tell you we got out of it because while we were pushing all of our businesses and heavy regulations, China's plan was to deal with it in 10 years. I've negotiated with China. 10 years never comes. India and China are our biggest polluters. If we really care about the environment, which I think we do, we need to start using the rest of the world to say, hey, we've got to start dealing with this. China, India, it's time for you to do your part.
Do you believe that China and India would sacrifice their economies in the name of climate change?
I think that if the rest of the world told them it was time, they would have to do it. They don't like being called out. They know they have problems. We need to tell them that the rest of us are doing this. They can't be the only ones exempt. Climate change is real. We acknowledge that. But don't go after the good actors with the United States. Let's go after the actors that are really causing the problems in India and China.
What else are you going to do with the China plan? Because I think you are the only Republican candidate who claims a China plan. Apart from confronting them over climate, what would you do to them?
China is our #1 national security threat. We need to start treating them like that. First of all, no more allowing them to buy U.S. soil and get back what we've already taken. They're doing it near military installations. It's a threat. No more putting money into our universities. We tell our universities, you either take Chinese money or you take American money. But the days of taking both are over, and we get that infiltration out. No more passing fentanyl across the border. They know exactly what they're doing when they send it. We need to make sure we deal with the cartels and we deal with China. No more foreign lobbying by the Chinese Communist Party or their Chinese front companies. That's a problem. And when it comes to the military, China is on the march. They are modernizing, building up their military. We need to be doing the same thing and stop the gender pronoun classes and start focusing on having a strong and powerful military.
That's a pretty full list, I've got to say, and that is true.
It's a pretty big problem.
Would you describe yourself as a classic Republican? And by that, I mean tax cuts, small government, less regulation, Reagan-esque.
I'm a conservative Republican. I believe that, small businesses are the heartbeat of the economy. And if small businesses have cash flow, they don't go on vacation, they hire people. I believe that government needs to stay out of the way. I believe capitalism has been the one and only way to lift up people in the history of the world. We don't need to start into this socialism creep. And I think freedom rings. And I think we need to let that happen.
I like that. I'm going to steal that.
You're welcome to.
Okay. Nikki Haley, thank you very much for being with us this morning.
Oh, go to NikkiHaley.com and join us.
Yes, get to do it. I should have put it on the screen. Nikki, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
You
so
see,
much.
I came down. I said, Nikki, I can't believe I did that.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.